Hi guys, welcome back to yet another episode. And guys, if you watched my previous episode about PS2 controllers and the unique ones, guess what? I'm gonna follow up with episode 2 of unique PS2 controllers. And on this episode today, I'm going to review the controllers that I have found online. Some of them are absolute masterpieces, museum worthy, and others are absolute abominations. So let's see and discuss what we've got this time on the PS2 Collector. Alright guys, so let's discuss the first controller of this video, and trust me, when I looked this up on the internet, it is going to be one of the most badass controllers I've ever seen, and that is the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. There's two different variants. That is the GameCube version, which was yellow, and then there's the PS2 version, which was red. And the amount of attention to detail, it's got blood splatter on it. It looks awesome. It's red, it's got the logo. It's just designed really good, and you can tell right away that this controller was made for display purposes only. But if you were a lunatic and you actually played with this controller, I want to know your experience, because by looking at it, the button and the inputs are in a very awkward position. It won't functional as a, basically if you want to have a good experience with it, it's going to be difficult because it's not designed really well for the consumer. However, visually it looks stunning. And guys, I'm going to give this controller, by, if you're going to judge it as an art piece, a 10 out of 10. But for comfort and reliability, it's going to be a 6 out of 10, because it looks quite heavy, it looks quite awkward, and it's going to be very difficult for me to use, especially playing other games. But yeah guys, so let's discuss the next controller on this video. So let's discuss the next controller on this list. And this controller, if you are a Dragon Quest fan, this controller was made especially for you, and that is the Slime PS2 controller. And you can tell right away that this controller was made for display purposes only, because it comes with its own display stand. And this controller also comes with a cord in which you connect with the Slime controller, in which you can use for the PS2. So aesthetically and visually, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's quite basic, and it's a very iconic Dragon Quest enemy character. The main thing, the comfort and reliability. Now I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, because I won't use this controller to play other games, because imagine holding a ball and try to do complex inputs. It's gonna cause a lot of strain on the hand, and for me it's a no-no. Display purpose only, that's what it's made for. However, if you are crazy enough to play it, use it for RPGs such as Dragon Quest. But for me, 5 out of 10, that's fair. And guys, if you're a Dragon Quest fan, get this controller because it looks awesome. So let's discuss the next controller. Now the next controller, people, trust me, this controller right here, right now, is an absolute abomination, and that is the Nico PS2 controller. Just look at this, it is all over the place. It's got a keyboard on the controller. It's like the intention was right. They try to promote online gaming, they try to make typing easier, but the comfort and the reliability is not there. Visually disgusting. It looks like a mess, absolute mess. And would I display it? Hell no. I'll just put it in the corner and say, you know what, that was an absolute abomination by Sony. It was made by Sony. Come on man, they had to do something better, like a keyboard controller perhaps, to make things easier. But to try and put the controller with the keyboard together, it's not gonna work. Imagine try to play online, try to do inputs and try to cuss a guy, try to roast man, and you can't do it because you just try to do 3-4 things at once. It's not gonna work. And I could tell right away, it was an experiment, but it went wrong. So visually, 5 out of 10. when it comes to comfort and reliability, it's not there. It looks heavy, it looks clunky, the buttons are like squeezed in, so you type in and then you press X, it's not gonna substantiate. So yeah, for me, comfort, reliability, 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 is not there whatsoever. And guys, did anyone play with this controller? Was it easy to use? Let me know down in the comments below, and let's discuss the next controller. Right, so on to the next controller. And for me, when it comes to video game developers, Namco have created masterpieces. Think about it. Pac-Man, Soul Calibur, Tekken, up there with the greatest games of all time. However, when it comes to controllers, PS2 controllers, they create this controller here. Look at it. It's a black controller with the Namco logo on it and a big circle unlock button. Now, what were they thinking creating this? The only thing that I can think of was it was created for a fishing game. That's the only reason why the unlock looks like that. However, Namco, you've got all these IPs. You could have made a Tekken controller, which I'm sure you have. You could have made a Soul Calibur controller, which you haven't. Or a Pac-Man controller, your mascot. No. You create this. How do I rate it? Visually, 2 out of 10. Not appealing, and it's definitely the ones that you don't ever display. Comfort and reliability, not there. If you're not using the analog, you're good. Use the D-pad. If you are using the analog, people are used to dual analog sticks, and you try to put it into one analog, it's not gonna work. It's a mess, and it's not comfortable and reliable whatsoever. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. Absolute, the worst controller I've seen as of yet. Uninspiring, unimaginative. There's no thought process in how Namco even came up with this. It's like a concept that came into reality. That's what it looks like. Poor, and very disappointing from Namco. So let's go on to the final controller. Hopefully it's a good one. Right guys, so let's go on to the final controller of this video. This might be one of the most unique, rare and mysterious controllers that I've ever seen, and that is Hori Super Robot Wars PS2 controller, exclusively released in Japan. Now, I've got to say, this controller looks awesome, and the mysterious thing about this controller, guess what guys, I never thought I'd see the day. It's a one-handed controller, and it was specifically made for one game that was only released in Japan. As far as I'm aware of, that game is called Hori Super Robot Wars. Now, visually, it looks good, I've got to say. I like the way the bones are laid out. I like the analog sticks. The bones are all there. They're in the best place, especially for a one-handed controller. It's very comfortable for the one hand. And I've got to say, as a collector's item, it's something that I definitely will display. And if I had to rate the visual aspect of it, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It looks quite good. I like the jet black. It also came in a silver color, but I prefer the jet black because when it comes to black, it just looks good. The silver, it looks like a cheap toy. Let's just keep it real. However, the main thing, the comfort and reliability. Now this is where controllers get judged all the time. For one-handed, 10 out of 10. Because it is a one-handed controller. This is the only one-handed controller that I've ever heard of for the PS2. I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. However, if you're gonna use it playing other games such as racing games, such as fighting games, such as wrestling games, RPGs, it's a no-no. You're gonna get strains with the one hand. It's not going to be comfortable playing other games. If it's made for one specific game and was made for that particular reason, fair enough. However, other games, if you just ignore the aspect that you can't use for any other game, or if you can use it, but it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. And that for me has put the score down quite a lot. So I'm going to give 2 out of 10 for reliability and comfort. And guys, the 5 controls that we've seen today, I was thinking, how many are there? How many controllers? How many abominations? How many masterpieces are out there when it comes to PS2 controllers? The paradox of it, there's so much variety, and that's what makes the PS2 great. It's not always about the games, it's also about the hardware that came with it. And for me, I'm just looking through my lens. In my time, it was only like the DualShock. I never thought about third-party controllers or controllers specifically released in Japan. I've got to collect some of these, man. I've got to make videos that I'm gonna collect these controllers. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And a quick message to my fans. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to the Leeds market. However, the PS2 Collector episode 67 or 68 will be released next week. I'm looking forward to that one. Anyways guys, until next time, and don't, as always, forget to subscribe. Take care.